Hi, all. It's Emily Rand with ESPN Esports, and I'm pleased to be joined by Immortals jungler Xmithie. So, thank you so much for joining me, especially at not friendly gamer hours this morning.
Yeah.
Um, Coming off of this week, it's the second week that this specific lineup has been the LCS starting lineup. Just generally, despite the results, how do you feel like the team performed?
I think everyone felt pretty good until the end of the game. Um, we haven't really practiced a lot against LCS teams, but playing against it, like I felt like we have a really good shot on like getting pretty high up in the rankings.
Given your like you started the season with this lineup in academy and then transferred to LCS,
hmm
how a lot of people have been discussing how the gap of competition might not be as large as people think. How big is the gap of competition between academy and LCS right now?
Um, I think it's pretty true that there's not a big gap between like LCS players and academy, like especially mechanical wise. I think everyone's really good mechanically, and not everyone, but like just a lot of people are already like LCS caliber in the academy. Obviously, there's like some LCS players there too, but there's a lot of rookies, like promising new rookies that I've seen in the academy who can probably replace like a couple people in the LCS.
You guys took kind of a risk deciding to start this lineup, like that a lot of teams might not take, especially with the like. I guess something that's kind of flown under the radar is that this was Insanity's actual LCS debut, despite being in the academy and challenger for so long.
hmm
What's it been like working with him, and how do you describe your mid jungle synergy right now?
I think working with David is like not the first time. We actually crossed paths a lot of times before, even just in solo queue. But when I was at Worlds with Team Liquid, I think it might be actually be last year when we practiced at the Team Liquid like Alienware facility at Utrecht, like in Europe.
Mhm.
I played I duoed with him like solely in there because usually it was like Impact and Jensen that do it a lot. So I do it with David a lot there, and I actually thought that he was really good already there. So
How I know you had mentioned at the beginning of the split in a few interviews that you guys were doing a lot of scrimming internally,
hmm
like regardless of lineup. How
yeah.
valuable is it to scrim internally with a team between an academy and LCS lineup?
Well, I think we just didn't have a choice, so we had to scrim internally because there were actually like no LCS teams scrimming then, since we scrimmed like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks earlier, pretty much than everyone. So like yeah, we scrimmed internally and we just swapped a lot of rosters, and I think that was like the main reason why we wanted to start early is because I think a lot of people weren't like a lot of us weren't satisfied with like our results obviously, so we tried pretty much a lot of things.
And you've had kind of a shaky start to the season. You didn't start for the first few weeks. What was it like returning to stage, I guess, because you guys are still playing online?
Um well, I think it was just a pretty bumming, or like just pretty um sad, not cuz like I didn't play, just cuz like we were losing pretty hard. We went 0-4, and like I guess the more losses we had means that like it's pretty hard to get into like playoffs and like going into worlds. Um yeah, I think it was just pretty hard to watch like on the side, like until like I got to play the third week, and I think that's why like everyone in our team was like really really sad just like playing on the fourth week, even though like it was really close, like results are results, and we went 0-2.
How do you recover from a week like this, especially with two games that were such close losses?
I think it's it is pretty hard. losing 2 games, but I think I played so many. Like I played so many games, or like played so many LCS games already, and you get used to it at some point. So all you need to do is like play, keep playing, and yeah, just go for the next. And like the main goal is always try to get to worlds. So yeah, just keep playing better for the next weeks.
I know they must have been frustrated, but I also felt like specifically Alarm and Insanity, who are kind of the two younger players who are on this
Mhm.
lineup, seemed still pretty positive about the overall outlook of where the team is going. What is next, and where do you think this Immortals team can land?
Yeah, I think especially since Alorum and Insani are just new to the scene and like they're pretty much rookies. Their mentality is like really fresh, and like they're always want to improve, and I think that's what I like the most about any team is just being really open like about your mistakes and like what you can do better, and they do it pretty well. Like they're both LCS caliber players, so yeah, I'm happy for them that they're doing really well.
And then what, like I know you've already said in this interview and previous interviews, your goal is to always go to Worlds. In order to get this team there, what is your role as kind of a veteran leader and a jungler for the team?
um well, I think experience is the most important thing that I can give them, since they haven't really played a lot of like high caliber games, just like LCS wise. So teaching them and then showing them the ropes on how like macro is and like shot calling and like just how we can work together as a team compared to like just like playing like solo queue. And yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing I can give them.
Okay. Well, best of luck going forward with this team. You guys have been really exciting to watch, so I'm excited to see what you have next. And thank you for joining me this morning.
Yep.
And for more League of Legends coverage, keep it here on ESPN Esports.